expected to lead campaign rallies in Nairobi. The rallies will culminate in the main rally at the Uhuru Park grounds. Our reporter Patrick Amimo is there and now joins us live from the venue. Amimo, have the leaders Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto arrived yet?
Thank you, Michelle. What's happening is that the Jubilee supporters are still streaming into Uhuru Park grounds to await the arrival of their leaders, that's President Uhuru Kenyatta and Deputy President William Ruto, who are expected to address their rally here at Uhuru Park anytime in the afternoon. Initially, according to the plan, they were to start a convoy. Their convoy was to start at Mudhurwa Market at noon, but it appears that timeline has not been met. So what we've seen is just groups of Jubilee supporters being ferried to these grounds from various locations in Nairobi, especially the eastern part of Nairobi, where the Jubilee supporters have been brought to Uhuru Park. And I expect there was a time we went to Mudhurwa, and there's minimal activity at Mudhurwa. I think the crowd that was at Mudhurwa has decided to come to Uhuru Park to await that address by Jubilee candidate Uhuru Kenyatta. And what's happening now just here is that, as you can see, people are gathered here, and there is also tight security here in that every person who is getting to the ground is being frisked by security officers to ensure that they're not carrying any other either crude weapons or something that could be dangerous to life and safety. So we have at least members of the security agencies, that is the police, who are frisking each and every person who is getting to the ground. There is also a metal detector on every side of the entrance. There's a metal detector where every person getting to the ground is going through it, and after that, then they frisk you to ensure that you are not carrying any other gadgets. But as it is, people are still trickling into the grounds to ensure that there are candidates to hear what will happen or what the leaders have to tell them. This particular campaign, the fresh polls have come as a result of the Supreme Court of Kenya nullifying the presidential election that was held on August 8th after it said that it did not comply with the Constitution and provisions of the law, and directed IEBC to carry out a fresh ballot. That this time round, IEBC has decided that it will only be for two candidates, that is Uhuru Kenyatta of Jubilee and NASA's Raila Odinga. So those are the two candidates. IEBC has said that they'll be participating in this particular election. But we've seen some other candidates also decide to say that they wanted to have an opportunity to participate in this particular election, a fresh election that has been ordered by the Supreme Court. We know already that Dr. Uhuru Kenyatta went to the court and petitioned on why he should not, seeking reasons why he was barred from participating in this election. We saw yesterday the Supreme Court through Chief Justice David Maraga certify Uhuru Kenyatta's petition, which he says that will be heard on September 20th to determine whether Kenyatta's name will be on the ballot paper for the fresh elections that have been ordered for October 17th. It's only 37 days remaining to that date. A date that is also controversial because we've seen NASA say that they are not comfortable with the October 17th date, and they were proposing for either October 24th or October 31st. But Jubilee says, as is adamant, and says that October 17th should remain the election date. We've also seen NASA also have issues with the members of the Secretariat that did oversee the bungled election. They want some of those officials in the Secretariat, especially the CEO, Ezra Chiloba, not to excuse himself from participating in this particular election. It is a matter that is still pending with the IEBC, because we saw on Thursday a leaked memo from chairperson of IEBC, Wafula Chebukati, trying to seek explanations from Ezra Chiloba. That matter has really split the IEBC commission, because we have at least 4 commissioners who are supporting, who are against the Secretariat being suspended, and at least 3 are supporting Chebukati's action. So it's a matter that IEBC commissioners are trying to settle and see that on how they'll comply to ensure that the October 17th election is free, fair, verifiable, and that all the those statutory papers that are used to transmit elections comply with the regulations, and this time round they have watermarks and also they adhere to the law. So,
all right, Amimo, maybe just before you continue, Amimo, this is a county, of course, that is metropolitan. But what are the stakes for the Jubilee Party in Nairobi County? We've seen the opposition NASA also holding a rally in Nairobi County. What are the stakes here?
I didn't get too clearly. If you could just repeat your question, Michelle.
Well, we've seen both parties, of course, traversing the country, making sure they get as many votes as they did before, even more votes than they did before. But what are the stakes for both the Jubilee Party and the opposition NASA in Nairobi County?
Nairobi is at least has about 1.9 million registered voters, and it is a hot cake for every presidential candidate who will want many supporters. Remember, in 2013, we saw opposition leader Raila Odinga has been the one who's been enjoying at least majority of support in Nairobi. But Jubilee is trying to make inroads. It's a 50-50 scenario in terms of political support when it comes to either Jubilee and the National Super Alliance. But just joining me here is I've just seen one of those candidates who are just arriving is Kimilili, Member of Parliament, Didmas, just Mheshimiwa, welcome. Now today we see the Jubilee presidential aspirant has already staked this particular rally for Nairobi. What do you expect?
Yes, we are a serious party. We have a serious presidential candidate who is a sitting president of the Republic of Kenya, and we want to put the Raila Odinga where he belongs. He belongs into the history of the politics of this country, that the people have fought to enlarge the democratic space of our country. And you and me understand that those who have participated in enlarging the democratic space don't live to continue in managing the affairs of the country.
Just looking at it, I saw on Wednesday the president decided to go to Bungoma and Kimilili specifically, maybe near the home ground of Senate Speaker Ken Lusaka, immediately after he had just clinched that seat. Why do you think the president decided to go to Bungoma and specifically Kimilili, and what was his message to residents there?
We wanted to show the whole country that what happened on 8th August, nothing has changed. In fact, we have improved more because in Bungoma, when we were campaigning on August, we had the lion that was walking on 4 feet. It was a very dangerous lion. It was difficult situations. But myself, I managed to pluck off one of the legs of the lion. So now the lion is limping. It can't walk. So where we are headed now is going to be very easy. It's going to be a walk in the park. And even now, as we are speaking, we have five members of parliament from Bungoma who are fully behind the re-election of Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta. And I can tell you for free that we are going to get more votes than what we got on August of 8th in the general election that was nullified by the Supreme Court.
Given that there is a rally in Nairobi, which is the capital city of Kenya, what do you think will be the message of the Jubilee candidates to their supporters who are continuing to mill at the Uhuru Park?
Well, the governor of Nairobi is the Jubilee, so with this government, this is in land, so we are simply stamping authority that we are a serious party, and that the Kenyans have goodwill in ourselves. You see the people who are coming to attend today's rally. We are simply telling Raila Odinga that we will appreciate if we can retire peacefully in the politics of this country because things have changed. His years cannot allow him to keep up to pace or keep up to speed with the Uhuru Kenyatta and the Honorable William Samoei Ruto, and of course ourselves as the foot soldiers of the Jubilee government.
And maybe given the crisis that we're witnessing at IEBC with the October 17th election, what is your message to IEBC Commission as it prepares for the October 17th election?
I want to tell the IEBC that you must follow the law. There is no law that says that you have to consult the Raila Amolo Odinga before you make any decisions that regard to managing the affairs of the elections in this country. You have the law, you are a lawyer, stop being a crybaby and manage the affairs of this country. We are going to have an elections as you have announced on the 17th of October. Follow the law, follow what the Supreme Court said. What we want is a free and a fair election. But we are not going to allow you that we are going to bring in a few individuals whose names begins mostly with the letter O, that they are coming from a particular part of this country that is the pretext that they are going to manage the affairs of this country. If you have no faith in any of the commissioners or any of the officers of the IEBC, sack them. Let them go home. But as long as they are working with the IEBC, they must be given an opportunity to manage the affairs of matters of elections of this country.
Thank you so much. That is a community member of Parliament, Didmus, just trying to share his views on the Jubilee rally and what they expect maybe in this particular game that we have been told that which match will be done on October 17th when the two candidates, that is President Uhuru Kenyatta and Nurses Raila Odinga, meet at the ballot within a period of at least 30 days after just the August 8th election. Michelle?
All right, so many thanks. So that is our senior reporter, Patrick Amimo, there at the Uhuru Park grounds, where President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy, William Ruto, are expected any moment now for a rally at the Uhuru Park grounds.